I don't. It's saying it's live, but I don't see it. Hold on, everyone, if you're there. Okay. Okay. Hold on. It's saying it's live. Okay. I forgot. There's the delay. So, see, I knew. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, welcome, everyone. This is Carla, and welcome to the studio. And thank you for joining me. So, this is my first Friday Night Live, and we will be using the Be Mine Valentine bundle. So I guess I can just take this and flip it around, and hopefully it all works, and then I can show you a few things before we start. Okay, so hold on one moment. Okay, flip. Not flipping. Okay, hold on, guys. We gotta have technical difficulties. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay. All right. So we're good now. Okay. So in this suite of product, we have the DSP. So I created a DSP reference sheet for this pack of paper. And this way I'm able to see both sides of the paper. I have swatches of the colors in the cardstock, and then of course it's all listed. So this really helps in designing the cards so I can pull all the stuff that's going to coordinate with it. So for the cards that we're making tonight, I am offering a free card kit with a minimum $35 order using this host code 9CS7DFSK. And when you place your order, you order by Wednesday 1/31 at midnight to get this card. So when you purchase the cart, well, you're not purchasing, you're getting it free. I will also provide a free PDF that has a list of all the products, and then there are pictures of the cards themselves, and then it has like all the dimensions to it. So to create the cards, just refer back to the video to follow along on where to stamp what to stamp and so forth. So let's get started. So for my first card, I also need to mount my stamp. So we're starting off good. We're starting off good. Okay, so this is going to be the first card that we make. I've got the inside as well. So I'm going to start off with my card base. It is a little cheat sheet here. So it measures 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Go ahead and burnish that. And then I have my piece of Daffodil Delight that measures 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to adhere it to my card base. Make sure I stay in the screen. Now I have a piece of the DSP. This measures 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and we're going to cut this diagonally. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to place the corners lined up in my track. And then I'm going to cut. I did the thing that I should not have done. Okay, take two, guys. Take two. I cut the paper the wrong way. Oh, okay. If you're watching, you're laughing. That's okay. I'm laughing too, because if I'm not laughing, I'm going to cry. All right, so this is 2¼ Okay, so we'll just cut another piece. And this time, let's cut it right. Okay, so I want to be mindful of the direction of the paper. So let me move these out of the way so I don't accidentally use those. So I want to cut it from the top right to the bottom left. Tell you what, this is going to make a good blooper video. Okay. Oh, even the ears are getting warm in here. Okay, so I'm going to add some glue to these pieces. And I'm going to add them in each of the corners. So the top left and the bottom right. So if anybody is commenting, I am not able to see the comments. So let's see. Hello, Danette, Andrea. Yeah, you're laughing at me, Andrea. Uh-huh. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. Uh-huh. Yep. You wait, honey. One of these days you're gonna do videos. Okay, I'm only kidding. You'll do great. Okay, so then I'm going to take this piece of white, and this measures 3 by 2¼ So I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet, and I do that because the paper underneath being white, it's going to be hard to see it. So let me bring in a block, and I'm going to bring in the stamp that says I love you no matter what. And I'm going to bring in my Memento Tuxedo black ink. And also the colors I'll be using is Sweet Sorbet, Petal Pink, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lime Twist, and Pool Party. And I also have my Stampin' Write markers in Flirty Flamingo, the Basic Black, and Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to ink up my greeting. Ink it up really well. And I'm going to stamp that on the bottom of this piece. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in the little heart, and I'm going to stamp that in Pool Party. And I'm going to stamp that right in this corner here. And then I'm going to take this piece and glue it to my piece of Sweet Sorbet that measures 3¼ by 2½. And we'll just center that. And get it straight. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it down to my card base. And just center that like so. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to bring in my piece of Daffodil Delight. This is a scrap, and we're going to stamp our bead. So I'm going to close up that ink, bring in my black, bring in block, and I'm going to ink this up. And then I'm going to stamp it over on this side. Okay. Now, if the coverage, I did re-ink that, and there's still some of it that's not fully filled in, so I'm just going to come in with my black Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to fill in that stripe, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my punch, and line it up. Loud. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in the smiley face. Turn the smiley face on here. Here it is. And I'm going to get a block. Bring in my black. And stamp that. And then I'm going to come in with my Flirty Flamingo marker. And I'm going to give him some cheeks. Okay. We'll set that aside. Now for my piece of Petal Pink, I'm going to clean off some of these stamps is what I'm going to do, so I can stamp these. It's a lot different than when I was doing the pre-recorded, because the pre-recorded I can set everything up in advance, and then of course when you go live it's a little bit different. So the first one's going to be rough, and hopefully the rest of them going forward will work out just fine. Get all the kinks out now. Okay, so then let's see, I'm going to bring in the outline of the wings, and I'm going to bring in my Petal Pink ink. Now I want to look at my punch and see the direction of which the wings are going to go. So we're going to stamp this one here, and then that one's going to go that way. Okay. And then on my piece of white, I'm going to stamp the little antenna, and we need a little block. Bring in my black ink. And look at how that's gonna go in punch. Okay. And then let's go ahead and punch these out. We're gonna line that up. That aside. There's one wing. There's two. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to add some at the base of this antenna. And I'm going to put my bee right on top of that. And then I'm going to add some glue. Wing. And we're going to have his wings kind of point up. Like so. And then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And add down like so. And then I'm going to add my bee to the front. Straight. Add them right there. And then I'm going to bring in my wing Castella. And I'm going to add some to the wings. Okay, and then one other element of decoration, I'm going to bring in, these are the adhesive backed hearts and flowers that come with this suite. And I'm going to take the large full party heart and I'm going to add that right above, right on top of the heart that I stamped. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside and now we're going to stamp the inside. So I'm going to bring in some scrap paper because we'll be stamping off, and then the insert, for the insert I have a piece of basic white that measures 5 1/4 by 4, and I'm going to bring in my stems and then my two little flowers and the little trio of hearts. So let me bring in my blocks. Flowers. And then we need one for a little set of hearts. So let me clean off a block. Okay. And then, so then for the inside, I'm going to get a little confuzzled. I'm going to bring in my sweet sorbet ink. And let's see, where's Petal Pink? And I'm going to bring in lemon lime twist and the pull party. All right, so I'm going to take this 5-petaled flower And I'm going to stamp one over in this corner, another one over here, and then this other flower, I'm going to stamp two of those. So, and then I'm going to bring in my stem. So let's see, these are the smaller ones. So I'm going to avoid inking the very top of this stem. So that way I see more of the leaves. And this is where I need the paper. And that. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in these three little hearts. Now, actually, no, we're not going to do three little hearts yet. I'm going to get the bigger stem. And I'm going to add these stems to my red flowers. Okay, and then the little hearts will come in and we'll just fill some of those in between these flowers. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my Daffodil Delight Stamp and Write marker, and I'm just going to fill in the centers of these flowers. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in the greeting that says, "You'll always be the one for me." And let's close these up because I got a feeling the way things have been going, I'm going to put my hand or my arm or something in it, especially when red's involved. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in, where's my black? Bring this in again. And I'm going to stamp this right in the center. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my card and my glue. I'm going to add that right in the center. I'll attempt to put it in the center and straight. Okay, so there is our first card. So now let me clean up some of these stamps so that way I can do the next card. What am I looking for? So I'm using my Stamp and Scrub. I really like using this. It really gets my stamps all clean. Hope everyone's had a good day and you're having a good night so far. And if you're someplace where it's really cold, that you're staying warm. It's warmed up here in Memphis, considering what it was like last week. It was freezing. We have no more snow, no more ice, but we've had a lot of rain. We didn't get any, I don't think we had any rain today. We just had cloudy, just clouds. Okay, so those are all cleaned up. So now, let's see. Got a mess going on here, folks. I don't know how you are. It's hard for me to create with a huge mess. Okay, so for my second card, there's all my pieces. And this is what it's going to look like, our outside and our inside. Okay, so I'm going to take my card base. This is Sweet Sorbet, and it measures 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4.25. Go ahead and burnish that. And then I have a piece of Petal Pink. This measures 4.75 by 3.5. And I have embossed that using this starred embossing folder. That's part of the Basics 3D embossing folders, and this is an online exclusive. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it onto the center of my card base. I really like these embossing folders. I use them a lot. And now my glue is clogged up. Come on, glue. Let's work. Work, work, work. Okay. I'm going to have to bring in one of my pins, little sewing pin, to unclog this. I could use my seal, but once I've already started with the glue, it would just be a real mess. Okay, that's better. Okay, why? Tell you what, this gonna make one good blooper video. I don't know. I think the best one that I had was the live that I did on World Card Making Day. I didn't even do a practice video or anything. I just went live, and yeah, for the first few minutes I was basically talking to myself because I forgot to turn my mic on. You couldn't hear me. Okay, so I have that piece there, and then I have two pieces of that DSP. Each one of these measures 2.25 by 1 3/4, and I'm gonna adhere these. Okay, my glue's being a fuss pot. Wow. Usually after I've unclogged it, I don't have this issue. I'm just afraid of squeezing too hard and then it just goes flying everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to add it at an angle over on this side here. And then I'm going to take this other one and I'm going to add it right here. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And then, let's see, I'm going to bring in this piece of Pool Party. This is just a scrap. I'm going to punch out one of these larger hearts. And I'm going to punch out two of these smaller ones. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in my dimensionals. I'm gonna add one to the back of my larger heart and set that aside. And then I'm gonna bring in my mini dimensionals and add one to the back of the little heart. When I designed these cards, I would have used like more of these embellishments, but I find that you only get like 4 of these large hearts, 4 of the small ones, and then the same thing with the flowers, 4 and 4. That's not enough in this package. I think that package should have been bigger with more contents in it. Just my thought. Okay, and then I have a scrap piece of vellum, and I'm going to do another large heart. This is going to be our wings, and I'll set that aside. Okay, and then I have a sentiment strip, and this measures 3.5 by 3/4, and I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet just so it's easier for me to see. And I'll bring in this stamp that says Be Mine, and let me get a block and my black ink. And I'm going to stamp this over in the center towards the right side. Okay. And then I have a piece of that sweet sorbet bordered ribbon. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it around and just create a knot. It is just a little bit bulky. Okay. Okay, what I'm going to bring in, I'm going to bring in our reverse locking tweezers, and that comes from our embossing additions kit. And this is going to be my third hand, just to kind of hold that so I can then do the knot. Okay, let me move this out of the way. This is like really, really bulky. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my scissors and I'm just going to go ahead and trim the ends of that. Okay, and then right in the center, right between the ribbon and the Be Mine, I'm going to bring in my embellishments and I'm going to take one of these large white flowers that has the yellow center and I'm going to add that right there. Okay, so on this piece, I'm going to add some dimensionals to it. Add one on this end, in the middle, and then over there. And then I'm going to add this towards the bottom. And just lining that up with my Petal Pink piece. Make sure that's straight. Okay. And then I am going to, I'll add my heart. And then I have a bee that I'll go and I'll add that after I add these. So, all right, so I'm going to set that aside. I got my bee wings here. And this is for our inside. And where is, I thought I was prepared here. Where's my white cardstock? Okay. Let me get a piece here. Okay, this should work. Glad that I got everything like right by me. Okay, so for my bee, we're going to use the Daffodil Delight ink and my Memento Black. So I found that for doing this bee, that if I stamp the black stripes and the stinger portion of the bee, I find that I can line up. Let's see, you want to make sure that we're going to have it line up with our punch. I'm going to stamp that. Make sure that I'm still in the camera view. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that. I want to let this dry just a little bit because I don't want to, well, it's not going to matter because I'm only going to be stamping it one time. So I'm going to bring in my bee body. That sounds funny. Bee body. Bring that in, ink that up. Okay, and then I'm just going to line that up like so. Okay, and then for the, let's see, we want to make sure we got the right direction. So I'm going to bring in the little antenna again. And we're going to ink, close this up. We're done with this one. Bring in my black. And I will stamp that over here. And let's close that up. And then bring in my punch. And line up my V. Put aside our extra hearts. I'm sure we'll find something to do with those. And then let me bring in another pair of nibs. I have one that's specific for ribbon, and I have one for paper. Now line that up. Okay. Put that aside. Now for my bee, we're going to have them facing in this direction. And let's see, I want the bee face. Let's see, we need to clean this stamp. bring in my black. And I'm gonna stamp my face. It's just so cute. It's really adorable. Oh, I got too much glue there. So I'm going to add that. Yeah, too much glue. The thing is, with this glue, you don't need much. This glue has a latex in it, so a little bit is really going to hold things together. And then I have my vellum wings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm just going to crease it slightly. I'm not going to give it a tight crease. And I didn't have it centered. And we just want a little bit of dimension. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue at the bottom here. And then our wings, I'm going to go right there. And we'll hold that down for a moment. And then I'm going to bring in my Flirty Flamingo marker again and add some cheeks. So the original cards, when I made them and I took the pictures, they don't have the little cheeks on them. And I thought, well, you know, I really like the cheeks, so we're going to add cheeks to them. Okay, bring in my dimensionals. I'm just going to add 2 on there. Okay, and then we'll add him right here. Actually, let me close up my glue because maybe that's the reason why I was having so much difficulty. And then I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella. And I'm going to add some to these hearts. I'm also going to add some to these wings. Okay, so that is the outside of our card. Let me put that aside. And now we're going to stamp the inside of our card. And I'm going to bring in the greeting that says Happy Valentine's Day. And bring in my black ink. Stamp that in the middle. And then I'm going to bring in, we have a bigger heart and we have a smaller one. And then we have this little stamp that's of a honeycomb. So let me take these off. I have some blocks to use. Gotta clean that one. Okay. All right, so I'm going to bring in my Daffodil Delight ink. And my honeycomb. And I'm going to stamp in each corner. So, and then I'm going to bring in Pool Party. And I'm going to stamp one of these bigger hearts in the middle. And then bring in my smaller one. And I'm going to put one up here. And one right there. And then we're going to bring in the card and we're going to add this to the inside of our card. It doesn't take much to make a mess out of this table. So for those of you that are watching, are you able to effectively create when you got like a big clutter, or do you need to have it neat? I kind of need it to be neat because I get very flustered and get confused and can't find anything. But unfortunately, when I don't want this video to go for like 2 hours, things are just all over the place. Okay, so there is our second card. Okay, and now let me kind of clean up some of these stamps and kind of just tidy up a little bit here because it is getting a little crazy. A little crazy. Almost there. I've really gotten a lot of use out of this whole suite of products. So I created the cards, for doing this live. And a little plug, if you are local to me here in Memphis, Tennessee, I have on February 10th, I have a Be Mine Valentine class. So we're going to be creating 3 different cards using this whole suite of product. So if you are interested, I do have in the description of this video, I have, there's a couple of links in there, and one of them is to sign up for my newsletter. And if you subscribe to it, I can send out to you the most recent newsletter that I sent out, and it has all the information about that class. Okay, so let's kind of move some things out of the way here. We're getting a little crazy. And then we got this, got all our ink, all our blocks, and actually let me go ahead and let me get the pieces that we need, and we'll block them all up. Let's see, we need that, we need that, we need the wings and the heart. And we need this again. We need the one that says, "You make my heart buzz." And let me think, what else do we need? I'm kind of cheating here. I have my sample card off to the side. So we need that little flower, and then we need, let's see, we need one of the stems, so we need the longer one. Okay, so let's block these all up. Let's see, what little face do we got? We got the little winking. That's a little winker. Let's see, I'll put this one on here. Look at all this prep work. A lot of work. And I need one more block. Okay, we'll put that one aside. That's for the inside of our card. So this is the card that we're going to be making. Really super cute and bright. Okay, so for my cardstock pieces, move that out of the way. So for my card base, I have an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece scored at 4 1/4 pool party, and I'll fold and burnish that. Okay, and then I have a piece of lemon lime twist. This measures 5.5 by 3.5. And then I have a piece of that DSP that measures 5.5 by 2 1/4. And then for my inside piece, I have basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. We'll set that aside because we'll stamp the inside in a little bit. And then I have this piece of basic white, and I used the largest. This is one of there's two different styles of these tags. I used the one that's got more of the rounded edge on it. This is the larger one, so I die cut that ahead of time. So on this white piece, let me bring in the scrap paper, even though I'm working on scrap paper, just kind of keeping it clean so it doesn't look like there's a lot of confusion. So I'm going to bring in this honeycomb piece and my Daffodil Delight ink, and I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to randomly stamp some of these on my tag. And most of these, they'll be covered up by the bee, but there's just a little bit of interest in the background. Okay, so let me put that aside. So I'll set, so no, actually one more thing on here. I'm bringing my black ink and the stamp that says "You make my heart buzz." I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to put this down in the lower right hand corner. So off to my left, you can't see it, I have this video playing, and yeah, it's kind of thinking about it. It's actually on the second card that I did. It's kind of stuck when I was adding the ribbon to that piece. Okay, so that's our tag. I'm going to kind of set that aside. I'm going to bring in my piece of basic white. This is a scrap, and I'm going to stamp my bee. So I'm going to bring in the stripes, ink this up. Now I re-inked this, figuring that, okay, the black will ink up really well. And for some reason, it seems like just doesn't want to really give a solid, black image on there. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my bee body. Bee body, bee body. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp. I think I need to replace this. I noticed that when I was using it, that the foam pad is actually starting to come unglued from the case itself. Okay, and we'll close that up. And then, let's see, we are going to stamp his little face, bring in the black again, and this has got the little winky face. And let me bring in my black marker and just kind of fill that in a little bit. And the same with the stripes. Just make it look a little more solid. I could have done this with my StazOn ink, but we know that if I use that on photopolymer, it is not coming off. Okay. And we'll bring in our flirty flamingo and add some little cheeks. Okay, and then I think what I want to do is I'm going to punch out my bee before I go and stamp the wings and the antenna. Okay. And then we're going to leave this here so I can see the way it's lined up. So I'm going to stamp one. I'm going to bring in the outline and my Pool Party ink. And see. Ink this up. Ink it up down in this lower left corner. And then for this heart, I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to stamp right over it. One of the things I got to stop doing is pressing so hard when using photopolymer, because sometimes it alters the image a little bit and it's not as sharp as it should be. So I'll punch out that, and then I'm going to stamp my antenna. So we'll close this up. All right, so this has got to go in that direction. There's my little, there it is. Ink that up. We'll stamp that in that corner. I hope for most of this I've been in the camera view and not out of view. We'll just line that up. Okay. And let's get all these little bits out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to take what I want. like that, this, and my glue. And I'm going to add some glue to the bottom of those wings. Going to add it like so. Did I just... I did, didn't I? Guys, I think I threw out my antenna. There they are. That's not the first time I've done that. One of my other pre-recorded videos, I had die cut something, and for the life of me, I could not find it, and it was a piece that I had heat embossed first. And I'm like, man, am I going to have to redo that? And then while I was looking, yep, I threw it away. Threw it away. Luckily, I found it and I didn't have to redo it again. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to add some dimensionals. My heat has kicked on again, and truthfully, I am feeling really warm. I would love to turn the fan on that I have right here, but if I do that, then it's going to be way too noisy. Okay, so on this tag, I'm going to add my bee. Let's see, we're going to, let me add him. I have him kind of straight, like so. And then I am going to bring in my wing Stella. I'm going to add some to these wings. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in these little embellishments. And I'm going to take this little Petal Pink flower. And I'm going to add that right there. Okay. And then this piece is going to have dimensionals as well. I'll add a few on here. Okay, and I'll just set that aside. Now I have a piece of this black and white gingham ribbon, and I'm going to tie a bow. I want to kind of have, like a bigger loop on it. And you know what? I don't think this is long enough. So let's bring in the ribbon and let's just tie it off of the spool rather than trying to do it off of that little piece. Okay, camera's rolling. You do know when it comes to creating bows and, trying to speak and everything, the brain won't communicate very well with the mouth. Yeah, that's what happens whenever you got the camera rolling. And you also forget words. Let's see, I think this is big enough now. Yep. So I'm going to trim these. So, and I'll put that aside. And let's not stab myself with these scissors because these things are dangerous. They are very, very sharp. Okay, so for my card base, I am going to take my lemon lime twist piece. put some adhesive on that. And I'm going to center this from top to bottom, and it's going to go straight across. And since that glue doesn't want to play well, I am going to bring in, my seal. This will work. Make sure I got this right. Okay. And then I'm going to center this on there like so. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in the tag that we did. And I'm going to add this at an angle like so. And then I'm going to bring in some glue dots. Now, the glue dots that I am using, these are from a past paper pumpkin kit. And, we do sell them on, on those rolls. But the problem is, really, I have so many of these that I don't think I'm going to ever have to buy those. To be honest, it's like I have so many of these. Okay, and then I'm going to take my bow and I'm going to adhere that right on top like so. Now for my embellishments, I am going to use, this is another favorite of mine. These are the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. What I like about these, they're you can see through these. And so they take on the color of whatever's underneath them. So I'm going to add some of these larger ones that I have. So I'm going to add one down here. And I'll add one here. And then one more over here. Okay. That aside, let's close this up and get it out of the way. Okay, so there is our card front. So now I'm going to do the inside. So for the inside, and first off, let's take this and turn it this way. Because I did do that. I went to stamp a greeting for a card, and yeah, I didn't stamp it in the right direction. Yeah. Okay. So I just kind of left it, and I just said I did an oopsie. So I'm going to bring in, let's see, where's that? I got the stem. Where's my flower? There's my flower. Okay, I need to. Let me clean one of these. One of these blocks. Okay. So I'm going to, what else do I need? The greeting that says you'll always be the one for me. I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to bring in my black ink. And I'm going to stamp that in the middle and hopefully I get it straight. Okay. And then for this flower, I am going to bring in my sweet sorbet. And I'm going to do one at an angle that way. And another one over here. And then let's see, what else do I need? I'm kind of mimicking the flowers that are on this DSP. So I'm going to clean this. And then I'm going to bring in my pool party. And I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to add one right here. And another one down here. And then let's see, I need Petal Pink. We're going to need this one too. When I'm done here, I'll go through the comments and answer any questions if there are any. And thank you for joining me. I wasn't really thinking anybody was going to be watching, to be honest. But I thank you. I thank you so much. And actually, I don't. Oh, what are you doing? No, 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 no. Our leaves are not going to be in Petal Pink. No. No, no, no. We want them in green. But I thank you for being here and joining me. I appreciate it. Now I'm going to bring in my scrap paper again. And I'm going to kind of line this up to where I can kind of get all three of these, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, not really going to happen. So I'm just going to kind of wing it like so. So some of these leaves will end up overlapping, but that's okay. Okay, so now let me bring in, kind of move all this stuff out of the way because it's a little bit of a hot mess here. Just kind of get all this stuff out of my way. And move this, move that, and then I'll bring in my seal. Okay. And then I'll add this into the center. Okay, so there is our third card. So let me bring in these other two that we had done. Okay, so if you had liked these projects and you would like the free card kit with all the supplies to make this now, you would, if you want to make these exactly the way I've made it, you will need the stamp set along with the coordinating punch. The stamping the images, I cannot do that, but you will receive all of the cardstock and the paper pieces so you can stamp and punch and put it all together. Um, so it's a minimum $35 order. You have to place the order by Wednesday 1/31 at midnight and use this host code 9CS7DFSK. Now, in the description of this live, I do have a direct link that has this host code that if you click on it, it will take you to my online store. And so it will already apply this host code. Now, if you place an order that's $150 or more, remove the host code. So like when you're on that screen in the upper right hand corner, it'll show who you're shopping with, it'll show the host code, and then there's a little trash can icon right to the right of that. You want to remove that because you're going to earn Stampin' Rewards and I want you to be able to receive those rewards. So again, minimum $35 order before tax and shipping, and by Wednesday 1/31 at midnight. And then I'll cut all the pieces and I will send it out before my next live next Friday. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go see what you guys have said and answer any questions. Um, and see if I see everything. So, okay, I said hi to Danette and Andrea and Yvonne. Yvonne, I think we can accommodate that. Let's see. Yeah, those the faces that come with that bee Mine Valentine stamp set. That's great. I love. They're just so darn stinking cute. Um, let's see. That's the way I roll, Clark. Uh-huh, yeah. Yeah, I've witnessed that, Andrea. I've witnessed that. But then we saw what we did to my table last year when all six of us were sitting at it. I don't think we saw the top of the table, but we were really creative. We had a lot of fun and shared a lot of laughs, and it was awesome. We got to do that again. Um, Yes, that gingham ribbon is that black and white just really is striking on all those bright colors. Let's see. Yes, everyone. Don Newberry is actually Yvonne Newberry. I think. Okay, I think that's all the comments and the questions. Thank you, Danette. I'm glad that you liked them, and Andrea, thank you. Um, so Yvonne, like, where do I get my inspiration? So when it came to coming up with ideas for these cards, I'll go out on Pinterest and some other websites to see and get ideas. And a lot of times you know, I'll case. So usually case will be copy and share everything, or it can mean copy and selectively edit, which typically I'll selectively edit. But, being that this set, it's not a retired set, it's a new set, and a lot of stuff's been done with it. I really wanted to think outside the box, do something that was different from what you saw out there. So what I actually did a search on Pinterest for card sketches. And I found that just by looking at the layout from those card sketches and then also having my reference sheet, I just pulled out a sheet of all the cardstock colors and I had this and pulled out the same colors of ink. And I found that it just like the idea just really came to me really, really quickly. And I mean, I was really proud of myself. I mean, I'm not one to boast about things, but like I mentioned earlier, on February 10th, I'll be having an in-person Be Mine Valentine class. And I actually got all of those cards designed as well. And they're all different, and the layouts are different from what you see here. So I'm really looking forward to that day. So, with that, again, if you want, there goes my sheet. If you would like the card kit for these projects, again, a minimum $35 order by Wednesday 1/31 at midnight, and use this host code. And like I mentioned, the link is in the description, and there's also a link there as well if you would like to be on my mailing list and receive my newsletter. So thank you again for joining me. I will be back next Friday at 7 p.m. I haven't decided exactly yet what I'll be using. I think I may be using the Sending Love. I just actually got that bundle today, so I may do something with that one. So I thank you again for joining me. If you would like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I'm pretty sure every one of you have subscribed. So thank you so much. And I will see you later. Bye bye and have a blessed one.